Hi everyone, it's Amy again from Beyond Motion. So if you've watched the other videos from this series, we worked on the perfect push-up and gave you some points and tips there. And then we did the tricep push-up, but now we're going to get fancy and add a few things on here. So I've already talked a little bit in the other videos, and please feel free to refer back to them, on hand position being nice and wide for your perfect push-up, and then where to go for that W that I always joke around with Women with Wellness Win, that 3W right here for the tricep push-up. Now, one of the things I like to do is kind of play around with what else can I do with these push-ups to add a little bit more challenge in there. So I'm going to give you some of my favorite places to work with, or areas to work with when I'm doing push-ups. And like I said before in the very first video, one of my favorite things to do is push-ups. I don't really know why. I think it stems all the way back to the movie G.I. Jane, where Demi Moore was rocking out some push-ups there, right? She was clapping and single-handed, and feet were on mattresses. And I mean, that was just, my idol for push-up variations when that movie came out. So maybe that was the inspiration, but it is one of my favorite things to do. And of course, you can do push-ups anywhere. I love the fact that you can play with heights on a push-up. So if you're near a bench and you can do a flat push-up perfectly well, maybe you can try putting your hands on the bench and your feet on the ground, or flip it around where your feet are on the bench, assuming it's safe to do so, and your hands are on the ground, or having one hand higher up and one hand down below. So maybe you have a hand on a ball or a block and the other hand on the floor. So there's tons of ways that you can do push-ups, but what we're going to do right now has no props. And again, if you would like a mat, feel free to grab a mat for under your knees, or depending on what kind of flooring you're on. So I'm going to give you a couple of variations to play with that is going to activate the core and the whole body. Make sure you're breathing. So typically what I will recommend to my clients or our clients is to inhale as they go into the push-up and exhale as they push away from the push-up. It will help with your stability, give you constant flow of movement and breath, and give you a little bit more power during that exhalation. So here we go. I'm back into the plank. So again, I line my thumbs up today with the armpits. I'm going to extend the legs back and push back. Now, one of the questions I get is, how do I know I'm pushing enough away and activating the hamstring and glutes? If you have a wall near you, you can actually extend your legs into the wall and push your heels into the wall, the whole foot into the wall as hard as you can. That will help activate your glutes and your hamstrings. So if you're not quite sure if you're using enough energy back there, push your feet against the wall so that when you come down and up, you still feel that resistance against the wall. And that'll help you figure out if you're pushing your shoulders too far over your fingers, and or are you using any of the energy of your posterior chain, your lower back body, so your glutes and hamstrings, calves, feet, in order to make that happen. So we definitely want that whole back down to the soles of the feet going to work, no differently than the front of the body going to work during a correct push-up. So we're going into that push-up position. One of the ones I love to do is a crossed ankle, squeezing those thighs together on the way down and coming back up. Sometimes I'll do 5 to 10 on one side, switch, and 5 to 10 on the other. So you can try those. Another one is adding leg pull front from Pilates to a push-up. So I will take the foot, tap, lift, flex, lower, do a push-up, and then do the other side. Tap, lift, flex, lower. Now during that exercise, your goal is to keep the stability of the pelvis and the lumbar spine. You can also alternate and then come down and up. One of my other favorites is a push-up into a side plank. So going down, pushing up, squeeze those thighs together and get that nice side plank, finding length of the body. Coming back to center, and down and up, and going to the other side. Next. Or, I'll call this one Spider-Woman, Spider-Man, coming up, right knee, left knee, and back down. And then right and left and back down. Nice. So playing with variations. So sometimes for a part of my workout, what I'll do is 100 push-ups in addition to whatever else I'm doing that day. However, I will change the variation after every 10 and of course take a break. So I might do 10 basic push-ups and then 10 tricep push-ups on my knees. And then 10 push-ups with one side plank in between. And then 10 push-ups with the knee coming toward the elbow or shoulder. And I'll change the variation each time so that I have something else my body is having to work on, focus, and stabilize every time I do a variation. So how should you begin? Well, take your perfect push-up position and choose one of the variations. Maybe it's just crossing one ankle over the other, but keep the pelvis nice and level. Maybe it's keeping one foot off the floor as you go into your push-up. Maybe it's going into a push-up and then adding a little abduction, adduction. Or keeping the knee bent and holding that contraction of the hamstring while you go into your push-up. So get creative, challenge yourself. Do something different each day. Maybe you're just working on doing 5 great push-ups that day, and the next day do 5 of a different variation. I promise you'll get stronger. You'll feel better. It'll give you something new to play with and keep you creative. So enjoy your push-ups. Let me know down below how you're doing and which variation is your favorite. We'll see you soon. Have a great day.